The law of karma. How it works in your life. In the great confluence of world philosophies, few concepts have captured the popular imagination as vividly, or been as profoundly misunderstood, as the law of karma. In the modern lexicon, karma has become a kind of metaphysical shorthand, often used to denote a cosmic system of revenge, karma's a bitch, or a simple, deterministic fate, it must be my karma. We envision it as an invisible boomerang, a universal law of payback that ensures everyone eventually gets their just desserts. While this pop culture caricature contains a faint echo of a deeper truth, it largely obscures the elegant, nuanced, and deeply empowering doctrine taught by the Buddha over 2,500 years ago. To engage with the Buddhist understanding of karma, or kama, to use the original Pali term, is to move beyond notions of fate, divine judgment, and cosmic retribution. It is to enter into a study of a natural law, as impersonal and reliable as the law of gravity. The Buddha approached the subject not as a mystic revealing a divine decree, but as a master psychologist and a spiritual scientist, articulating a precise and observable law of cause and effect that governs our entire experience. He taught that karma is a principle of radical responsibility, a framework that, when properly understood, reveals that we are not passive victims of circumstance, but the active architects of our own lives. This comprehensive guide seeks to illuminate this profound law, to strip away the layers of misconception and present it with the clarity and practical relevance it deserves. We will journey from dispelling the common myths to understanding the heart of karma as intentional action. We will explore the intricate mechanics of how these intentional seeds ripen into the fruits of our experience. And most importantly, we will provide a practical guide for how to consciously work with this law in your own daily life. This is not a study of an ancient dogma, but an exploration of a living, dynamic principle that is shaping your reality in this very moment. Part 1. Clearing the ground. What the law of karma is not. Before we can build a correct understanding of karma, we must first clear away the rubble of popular misconception. Much of our confusion stems from conflating the Buddha's nuanced teaching with other, more simplistic ideas of destiny and cosmic justice. Myth 1. Karma is fate or predestination. This is perhaps the most significant and disempowering misunderstanding. The idea that our lives are a pre-written script, that our destiny is sealed by actions in a distant past, is a form of fatalism that the Buddha explicitly rejected. The Buddhist doctrine of karma is, in fact, the very antithesis of fatalism. It is the law that explains how our free will operates. It posits that while our present moment is certainly conditioned by our past actions, our future is being shaped by our present actions. The past creates the set of conditions, the hand of cards we are dealt in this life, our genetics, our family, our social environment. But karma is the principle that emphasizes we are free to choose how we play that hand. Every moment offers a choice point, an opportunity to create a new intention, a new action, that will shape the trajectory of our lives. We are not prisoners of our past karma, we are the inheritors of it. And we have the power to influence our inheritance with every thought, word, and deed. Karma is not a statement about the power of the past, but a profound testament to the power of the present moment. Myth 2. Karma is a system of cosmic reward and punishment. The popular notion of karma often involves a hidden arbiter, a cosmic judge or a divine entity that keeps a celestial ledger of our good and bad deeds, dispensing rewards and punishments accordingly. The Buddha's teaching is entirely free of this theistic framework. Karma is an impersonal, natural law. There is no judge, no sentence, and no external agent of enforcement. The relationship between a karmic action and its result is intrinsic, not imposed. The Buddha's insight was that the intention itself carries the seed of its own result. An action rooted in greed, hatred, and delusion is inherently discordant and agitated. To act from such a state is to immediately introduce that quality of agitation into our own mind stream, a quality which will inevitably manifest as a painful experience later on. Conversely, an action rooted in generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom is inherently harmonious and peaceful. It plants a seed of peace that will naturally ripen into a pleasant experience. The analogy of agriculture is far more accurate than that of a courtroom. A farmer who plants a thorn seed will not be punished with thorns. he will simply harvest the natural result of his planting. A farmer who plants a mango seed will not be rewarded with mangoes. She will reap the fruit that is intrinsic to the seed she sowed. The law is neutral, predictable, and entirely natural. Myth 3. Karma is a simple, linear, an eye for an eye equation. The workings of karma are not simple and linear, but complex, multifaceted, and systemic. Our present life is not the result of a single action in a past life. It is the result of a vast, interwoven web of countless actions performed over an unimaginably long period. Similarly, a single action performed today will not have a single, isolated result. Its effects will ripple outwards, interacting with our existing karmic patterns in complex ways. Furthermore, the results of karma, known as vipaka, do not always ripen immediately. Some actions bear fruit in this very lifetime, some ripen in the next life, and some may lie dormant for many eons before the right conditions allow them to manifest. This explains the apparent injustices we often see in the world. Virtuous people who suffered terrible misfortunes, experiencing the ripening of old, negative karma, and corrupt individuals who live in luxury, experiencing the ripening of old, positive karma. A superficial view sees only injustice, but a deeper, karmic view sees the complex and long-term unfolding of causes and effects. Myth 4. Karma is a thing that can be transferred or erased. In some spiritual traditions, it is believed that the negative consequences of one's actions can be erased through rituals, appeased through prayer, or even transferred to a spiritual teacher. The Buddhist teaching on karma is uncompromising on this point. We are the owners of our actions, the heirs of our actions. Responsibility is absolute and non-transferable. No ritual can wash away the karmic seed planted by an unwholesome intention. However, this does not mean we are doomed. While the seed cannot be erased, the conditions for its ripening can be changed. By overwhelming our mind stream with wholesome, positive actions in the present, we can create a powerful new current of karma that can mitigate, delay, or weaken the ripening of past negative seeds. It is like pouring a small amount of salt into a vast river. The salt is still there, but its effect is diluted to the point of being imperceptible. The power always lies in our present moment actions. Part 2. The heart of karma, the power of intention, sadhana. Having cleared the ground of these common misconceptions, we can now approach the very core of the Buddhist teaching on karma. For the Buddha, the moral quality of an action, its power to shape our destiny, is determined by one single, pivotal factor: intention. In a discourse that is central to the entire doctrine, he made this radically clear. Sitanaham, Bhakave, Kamam Vadama, Sitaitva Kamam Karati, Kaina Vakaya Manasa. It is intention, sadhana. O monks, that I call karma. Having intended, one creates karma through body, speech, and mind. This is a profound psychological statement. Karma is not what we do, it is why we do it. It is the volition, the will, the mental impulse that animates our actions. It is the thought that precedes the word and the deed. To understand how karma works in our lives, we must become students of our own intentions. Consider a surgeon holding a scalpel. She makes an incision, cutting deep into the flesh of another person. Now consider an assailant holding a knife. He makes an incision, cutting deep into the flesh of another person. The external, physical action is nearly identical. Yet, the karmic import could not be more different. The surgeon's intention, sadhana, is rooted in compassion and the desire to heal, a profoundly wholesome state of mind. She is planting a seed of positive karma. The assailant's intention is rooted in hatred and the desire to harm, a profoundly unwholesome state of mind. He is planting a seed of negative karma. The law of karma is a law of the mind. The three roots of karma, poisons and antidotes. The Buddha further explained that all our intentions, the very source of our karma, arise from a set of fundamental mental states, or roots, mula. The quality of our actions is determined by which of these roots is motivating us. The three unwholesome roots, akusala mula. These are the three poisons that defile our consciousness and lead to suffering-producing karma. Greed, lobha. This is the root of craving, attachment, lust, and possessiveness. It is the mind that thinks, I want, I need, I must have. It leads to actions like theft, exploitation, and dishonesty. Hatred, dosa. This is the root of anger. Aversion, ill will, and hostility. It is the mind that thinks, I hate, I reject, I want to destroy. It leads to actions like violence, harsh speech, and cruelty. Delusion, moha. This is the root of ignorance, confusion, and misperception of reality. It is the mind that is clouded, muddled, and fails to see the consequences of its actions. Delusion is the most fundamental poison, as it is the ignorance of the law of karma itself that allows greed and hatred to flourish. The three wholesome roots, kusala mula. These are the three antidotes, or beautiful qualities of mind that produce happiness producing karma. Non-greed, alobha. This manifests as generosity, dana, contentment, and the spirit of letting go, kaga. It is the mind of giving and sharing. Non-hatred, adosa. This manifests as loving kindness, metta. Compassion, karuna, patience, and forgiveness. It is the mind that wishes well for all beings. Non-delusion, amoha. This manifests as wisdom, panya, clarity, and understanding. It is the mind that sees reality as it is, impermanent, interconnected, and governed by the law of cause and effect. Every intentional action we perform is colored by one or more of these 6 roots. The secret to working with the law of karma, therefore, is to become intimately familiar with our own inner landscape, learning to recognize when our intentions are being driven by the poisons and skillfully learning to cultivate their antidotes. Part 3. The mechanics of karma, seeds, conditions, and fruits. To understand how karma works over time, we must distinguish between the action itself and its result. The Buddha used 2 distinct terms. Kamma refers to the intentional action, the planting of the seed. Vipaka refers to the result or the fruit that ripens from that seed. Our life is a continuous flow of both creating new kamma and experiencing the vipaka of past kamma. The agricultural analogy provides the clearest model for this process. The seed, kamma, every intentional thought, word, or deed is like planting a seed in the field of our consciousness. The quality of the intention, wholesome or unwholesome, determines the nature of the seed. The gestation period. Just as a planted seed does not yield a fruit overnight, a karmic seed may take time to mature. It may lie dormant until the right conditions for its growth converge. The conditions. The ripening of a karmic seed is not deterministic, it is conditional. Our present actions and environment act as the soil, water, and sunlight that influence which seeds from our past will ripen. If we are currently cultivating a mind of anger and resentment, we are creating the perfect fertile ground for old seeds of conflict and hostility to sprout. If we are cultivating a mind of patience and loving kindness, we are creating conditions that favor the ripening of past seeds of harmony and friendship, while making it difficult for seeds of anger to grow. The fruit, vipaka, when the seed finally ripens, we experience its fruit. The fruits of wholesome karma are pleasant experiences, good health, wealth, harmonious relationships, a peaceful mind, and favorable circumstances. The fruits of unwholesome karma are painful experiences, illness, loss, conflict, mental anguish, and unfortunate circumstances. It is crucial to understand that the vipaka is not just the external event, but our subjective experience of it. The same external event can be experienced very differently by 2 people due to their different karmic inheritances. The weight and complexity of karma. The Buddha also taught that not all karmic actions are created equal. The weight or potency of a karmic seed is determined by several factors. The strength of the intention. A premeditated, malicious act is far heavier than a spontaneous act born of a fleeting moment of irritation. The nature of the action. Actions that cause greater harm, like killing, are heavier than those that cause less harm, like idle chatter. The object of the action. The karmic result is influenced by the nature of the being towards whom the action is directed. An act of generosity towards a person in great need or a highly virtuous individual is said to be more potent than the same act towards a wealthy person. Similarly, harming a parent or a spiritual teacher is considered particularly heavy karma. The frequency of the action, habitual actions, repeated over and over, create deep grooves in the mind and have a powerful cumulative effect, shaping our character and our destiny. This complexity shows why we cannot draw simple conclusions about a person's karma based on a snapshot of their life. The unfolding of karma is a vast, dynamic, and deeply intricate process. Part 4. Karma in Action, a practical guide to your life. Understanding the doctrine of karma is intellectually stimulating, but its true value lies in its practical application. How do we use this law to transform our lives and reduce our suffering? The practice of working with karma is the practice of becoming a conscious and skillful cultivator of our own mind. 1. The practice of mindfulness, sati. The most fundamental tool for working with karma is mindfulness. Karma, being intention, originates as a thought, an impulse in the mind. An untrained mind is often on autopilot, allowing these impulses to translate into speech and action before we are even fully aware of them. Mindfulness is the practice of developing a clear, non-judgmental awareness of our own inner processes as they are happening. Practically, this means learning to watch our own minds. Throughout the day, we can pause and ask, what is my motivation right now? What intention is driving this desire to speak or act? Is this thought arising from a place of kindness or a place of fear? From generosity or from greed? By developing this inner watchfulness, we create a precious space between the impulse and the action. In that space lies our freedom. We can see the unwholesome intention to speak a harsh word arise, recognize it as a seed of suffering, and choose to let it go. We can see the generous impulse arise and choose to consciously nurture it. Mindfulness transforms karma from an unconscious, reactive process into a conscious, creative one. 2. Purifying the three doors, mind, speech, and body. Working with karma means bringing skillful awareness to the three doors through which we act. The mind. This is the root. The primary practice here is to apply right effort from the Eightfold Path, to abandon unwholesome thoughts and to cultivate wholesome ones. When a thought of resentment arises, we can consciously replace it with a thought of forgiveness. When a thought of greed appears, we can counter it with a reflection on generosity or contentment. Meditative practices like loving kindness, meditation are powerful tools for systematically purifying the mind of its toxic roots, directly transforming our karmic stream at its source. Speech. Our daily conversations are a constant field of karmic creation. We can practice by committing to the 4 principles of right speech. Is what I am about to say true? Is it kind? Is it beneficial? Is this the right time to say it? This simple filter can prevent us from planting countless negative karmic seeds through gossip, slander, and harsh words. Body. We can reflect on our physical actions. Are our consumer habits contributing to harm in the world? How do we treat our physical environment? Are we using our physical presence to create safety and comfort for others? Every action, from how we drive our car to how we interact with a service person, is a moment of karmic creation. 3. Responding skillfully to vipaka, the fruit. Perhaps the most empowering aspect of understanding karma is learning how to relate to the results of our past actions. Life will inevitably bring us a mixture of pleasant and unpleasant experiences. This is the ripening of our vast and mixed karmic inheritance. The key is to understand that while we may not have a choice about what vipaka ripens, we always have a choice in how we respond to it. When a painful experience arises, illness, loss, criticism, the untrained mind reacts with aversion, anger, or self-pity. Why me? This reaction is a new, unwholesome karma, planting a fresh seed of suffering. The wise practitioner, understanding karma, can meet the same painful experience with a different mind. They can reflect. This is the ripening of an old seed. This is an unpleasant feeling. They can then choose to respond with patience, khanti, equanimity, upekkha, and wisdom. By not creating a secondary layer of mental suffering through their reaction, they exhaust the energy of the old karma without creating new negative karma. Similarly, when a pleasant experience arises, the untrained mind reacts with clinging and greed, planting the seed for future suffering when that pleasant experience inevitably changes. The wise practitioner can enjoy the pleasant experience with gratitude but without clinging, understanding its impermanent nature. This is the ultimate freedom the law of karma offers, the freedom to choose our response. We are not defined by what happens to us. We are defined by the intentions we create in the face of what happens to us. Part 5. Transcending Karma, the ultimate goal of the path. A seasoned student of the Buddha's teachings knows that the ultimate goal is not simply to become a skillful generator of good karma. While creating wholesome karma is an essential part of the path and leads to happiness, it is still a process that operates within the confines of samsara. The cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, even a heavenly rebirth, the fruit of very good karma, is a temporary state, subject to impermanence and an eventual end. The ultimate goal of the Buddhist path is to transcend the law of karma altogether. It is to step off the wheel of cause and effect and realize nibbana, the unconditioned state of perfect peace and liberation. How is this possible? The Buddha taught that all karma, both good and bad, is created out of a state of ignorance, avidya, and craving, tanha. As long as we believe in a solid, separate self and crave for its happiness and continuation, we will continue to create karma and be bound to its results. The Noble Eightfold Path is a unique kind of karma. It is the karma that leads to the end of karma. Through the practices of ethics, meditation, and wisdom, we gradually weaken and ultimately eradicate the roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. The pinnacle of this path is the development of liberating wisdom, panya, the direct insight into the true nature of reality, specifically, the insight into no self, anatta. When the illusion of a separate self is completely penetrated, the very basis for creating karma dissolves. There is no longer a doer who craves, no owner of the action, and no experiencer who clings to the result. Actions still occur, but they arise spontaneously from a place of pure wisdom and compassion, leaving no karmic trace. Such a being, an enlightened one or arahant, has gone beyond both good and evil, beyond all conditioned existence. They have realized the deathless, the final end of suffering. Conclusion. The architect of your experience, the law of karma, as illuminated by the Buddha's wisdom, is a far cry from the fatalistic and simplistic notion it has become in popular culture. It is a subtle, profound, and deeply empowering principle that reveals a universe that is not random, but governed by an intelligible and ethical law of causality. It is the ultimate statement of our human potential and our personal responsibility. To understand how karma works in your life is to awaken to the fact that you are, in this very moment, the architect of your own experience. The thoughts you are thinking, the intentions you are forming, the words you are about to speak, these are the tools with which you are building your future. You are not a passive victim of a predetermined fate, but an active creator, planting the seeds of your future happiness or sorrow with every choice you make. This law does not promise a life free from the inevitable challenges of sickness, loss, and change, but it does reveal the path to a mind that can meet these challenges with unshakable grace, wisdom, and peace. The secret it offers is not the power to control the world, but the far greater power to master the mind that experiences the world. It is a timeless and practical guide, an invitation from the Buddha to take the reins of your own destiny and consciously create a life of lasting freedom and profound well-being.